you can't just make up new meanings for words out of nowhere when they're just politically efficacious for you. That's not what a hoax means. You could say politicized, go ahead. You could say propagandized, go ahead. I think those would be right as well. Then those would be right. Hoax is not the right word. Hoax is not the right word. That's not how that works out. Okay, so I haven't watched this yet. I know some of you all have definitely watched it, but I actually haven't watched this yet. I've only seen a couple of clips of Emma Vigeland's appearance on the Tim Pool Timcast or whatever it is, the Culture War, his show, the Culture War, where he like tries to bring people on to talk about the culture war, I guess, that he thinks is going on. I think there kind of is a culture war, but it's kind of like a one-sided culture war. It's like conservatives trying to make the world worse, and we're just trying to keep it the same or make it better. You know, there's stuff like that. That's just me though. But I guess I don't know. I guess we'll see what he has to say. He brought on actual Justice Warrior, so it seemed like it's gonna be a 2v1 minimum. So curious. Anyways, let's see how Emma does. Let's see how Emma did, because I haven't watched this yet. I've seen some very funny clips. I heard that Tim gets really mad. And I'm all in.
First thing I want to say is thank you to Jack Posobiec and Seamus Coughlin for guest hosting Timcast IRL while I was out. I wasn't not, in fact, dead. I just lost my voice, and that really sucked. I think on Sunday I was kind of sick.
When you're a content creator, you might as well be dead.
I just hung out and was playing video games all day. But then Monday I was talking like this, and then I figured I'd be fine by Tuesday, and then come Wednesday morning when I still couldn't talk, we were like, we need to call in the big guns. So we reached out to some people to see if they would guest host for us. And we got some people. We got Jack and Seamus. So they was on Timcast IRL. The show transforms from the core of what people think, feel, why they want certain politics. End up doing it live just because. So without further ado, without wasting any of your time, we've got two awesome guests. Sean, do you want to introduce yourself first?
Oh, I'm Sean Fitzgerald. I do YouTube at The Actual Justice Warrior. I cover primarily criminal justice related issues, and I'm happy to be here for your maiden live voyage of the Culture War.
And Emma, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Emma Vigeland. I'm the co-host of The Majority Report. Thanks so much, Tim, for having me on. I know that it was a little dicey with you and Sam in terms of him coming on, but I'm happy that you had me on. Honestly.
Absolutely, I'm glad you came.
Yeah,
you know.
and it's I just want to clear this up because I know that you didn't want to have Sam on because you called him a grifter, right? Yeah. And part of the reason that you called him that is because you said that we put your song through a filter on our show, and I just want you to know, I was hosting that day. We don't have the technology to do that, so I did not do that. So there you go. Claire.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So like Tim has been really angry with the Majority Report for a while because he thinks that they took his song that he made and they put it through a wacky filter to make it sound worse than it actually did. I'm not sure if that's just what he thought that his own song sounds like after he listens to it back, but like apparently he thinks that it sounded like so bad. His shit sounded so ass that he got mad at them for like modifying the audio.
This meme is.
I mean, I don't know. There may have been some compression that made it sound worse, but like when it comes just to like just straight putting it through a filter, I haven't heard them ever do something like that before.
Yeah, it was like
that up for you.
The song. So that specific issue was the song we put out, played on your show, had like the mids ripped out of it.
We don't have the technological ability to do that. We're just a bunch of leftists with like a soundboard. I promise you, nothing.
My mids.
You don't have Audacity. It's free.
Well, no. The issue here is likely
I don't really
that
know. I don't know anything about.
If you don't have proper ingestion, then like the audio is going through a TV or something, it's going to sound really bad.
Right.
So if we were to like play music on the TV and then put the mics up to it, everything would be ripped out from it. And then if we were to say, listen how bad this sounds, it's misleading the average person into thinking that that's what the song sounds like.
Didn't they? Don't they just play it through like their media player, and it just goes straight to the stream? Like it may run through their software so they can turn it up and down, but like I don't know, it just may be how they were playing it. I don't know, maybe it was just like grabbing it from offline so they could see the video. It's a YouTube, like you uploaded a song on YouTube, like YouTube isn't known for having the best audio compression ever, bro. Just calm down.
when it doesn't.
But I played that, and look, I mean, we're here to have a great discussion, I think. But it's interesting that even though I played it, that was your justification for calling Sam a grifter.
Oh, it's not though. The issue with
Okay.
Sam was that I put out a tweet where I said we try to invite people on the left all the time. They always say no. And then Sam tweeted challenge
sure if I'd
or
wanna be
something to
on
that
the show,
effect, like
honestly.
I'll come on. And I was like, oh, this is great because Sam was actually the first person to ever shout me out ever in my career.
Yeah.
Praising me.
What a horrible decision. Wait a second, I gotta
This
see
meme
something.
is very real.
Hey, really quick.
So I said, we will cover travel and accommodation. We'll fly you out. We'll take care of everything. Let me know what day works for you. And he said something like the 13th. And I was like, this is fantastic. And then he DM'd me and was like, I'm not coming on your show. And I was
Yeah,
like,
it was because of COVID restrictions. I've seen the DMs. I told him he
Yeah,
should put it
sure.
on. I've told him he should put it on Twitter, but he's too good of a guy. I mean, maybe.
well, no,
he
I
will,
published
just to
all the
clarify.
DMs.
Yeah.
Because then what he did was he then, it's mostly water under the bridge, but he made some comment about me backing out or something. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, and then I messaged him. I was like, are you kidding, dude? Like we're going to pay for everything. And then he,
Oh my goodness. Wait a second. So Sam decided to finally like post the DMs on this. Seems Emma Vigeland made Tim very upset on the show today. I wanted to say, okay, so like, wait, so let's take a look. This is their correspondence 3 years ago. So what's the details? I can have you here. I can do a group chat. We can do a group chat to connect you. If you want, you can just send your email and we can set it up. I can't fly to DC and do a daily 3-hour show. You don't have any remotes. We set the show up back in January for in-person only. We don't have any way to connect anyone to a Skype call or to display it. You don't? Wait a second. How is he getting on how are they getting on the majority report for Emma being like, we don't have the technology to like wibbly wobbly warp your audio. And then he's like, we don't have any technology to listen to a Skype call. All right, then. We've rejected some centrist and right-wing people for the same thing, so I take no issue if it can't be done. We can try to find the time when you're free to travel, but I get it. It's one of the challenges of getting guests on. You and Hassan host your own content, so it's probably harder for you. I appreciate the enthusiasm. So they do this back and forth a little bit, right? COVID hasn't affected anyone coming into your show? No, no one. No, but not a single person I know is a guy who has cared about COVID during the height of COVID. We actually stopped guests for a while over it. Rogan never did. Then we started up in the past month or so. Trump never did either, shrug. I guess you roll the dice and hope you don't pull a 7. Maybe if I have a day off. And then after, so this was like, it's back in October. Wait, so this is the 10th? And so Tim didn't respond for 3 days, okay? So Tim didn't respond for 3 days after he was like, maybe if I find a day off. All right, and then he goes, I don't know why you suddenly took offense to the above reply. Can you elaborate? And then he goes, you agreed to an in-studio interview for publicity. You lied. What? I absolutely have no idea. You only you only did in-studio interviews. I had no idea you weren't in New Jersey anymore. Last time we talked, it was on the Skype call, which is true. They did talk on the Skype call. It was the call where Tim Pool compared Sam Cedar's ideology to Thanos. He said it's just like Avengers Endgame with Thanos. You're just like Thanos, actually. Which surely was something. You just wanted to rile up your followers. The tweet said, in studio, we cover travel. You dragged me to rile up your followers, then pretended to be serious, then claimed you were busy, and then claimed it was COVID. You're full of shit. I didn't see any travel tweet, dude. How in the world would I have accepted tonight as a date if I thought I had to travel from upstate New York starting at 3 p.m. after my show and then get back at 8:30 p.m. to prep for tomorrow's show? That makes no sense. Bullshit. You did a segment pulling clips from my studio show. Not to mention I had to do a regular pre-recorded after my regular show. As far as I remember, it wasn't an interview, and B, just because you do one interview in studio, how could I possibly assume that you only do studio interviews? The entire channel you pulled from is a live studio show. Bro, okay, and That doesn't mean that you can't do call-ins. I feel like it's a pretty classic idea of a live show that you can do call-ins. Like every live show throughout the history of live shows, like honestly has been able to do some sort of call-in. Honestly, like a lot of ever since calls were invented, it's just okay. I don't know, bro. Look at him. He's like trying to calm down like his girlfriend. You're lying. You directly criticize my opinion. So either you lie on your show or you're lying now. Oh my goodness. Bro, calm down. Oh my, that's really funny. I'm sorry. That's really, really funny.
This meme is very real.
He thought that Tim was okay with a live show, even though he never agreed to a live show, because he looked at Tim having a live show, meaning he only does live shows. Makes sense.
He was just like, no, I'm not doing it. Are you crazy?
Well, then just do it like, I mean, I'm sure he'd be down to come down soon and you guys could actually hash it out.
No, it's too late.
Expanded more than that. I mean, so at the same time, there was Hassan Piker, who also responded to my tweet. And he said, I'd love to come. And I said, when can you come? And he said, let's figure out a date. And so I DM'd him and he said, I got to be honest, I'm actually concerned about COVID. And I said, totally get it. No worries, man. Thanks for reaching out. And that was the end of it. Sam, however, used it on like a video and then started tweeting about it because it was drumming up a whole bunch of clicks and views. And I'm like, okay, dude, I get it. Interacting with this guy is just going to create drama that he uses to get clicks. I mean, the dude's got like 170 videos about Dave Rubin.
Yeah, we do cover
Pretty funny.
that. I mean, I think part of what we do is we try to respond to some of the right-wing ecosystem on the internet because there's a vacuum truly left. You guys have a lot more money than the left-wing media space. We just try to combat it a little bit.
I think the issue with that, I can understand why you'd say that, but it looks like this is a great way to kick off the show, actually, like the start of the culture.
Okay.
I actually don't think that whatever this space has more money because this is a fractured independent space of varying ideologies.
Tim, I'm in your comment.
Okay, is the left-wing space not? Yes, left-wing space. Very well known for the left-wing independent media space. Well known for believing the same things and not having any division whatsoever. Or very little division, as you can see. Such tiny amount of, there's actually never, the left has so much unity, way more unity than the right, actually. Yeah. It's the most unified front to ever exist, honestly. Yeah, the Daily Wire, like in and of itself is proof that they have a lot of money. The Daily Wire, and like he would try and bring up TYT. TYT makes way less money than the Daily Wire does. Like TYT is way smaller than the Daily Wire.
Compound right now.
Yeah, I'm rich.
I live in a one-bedroom. I mean, how did you get rich?
I started a website, took memberships, sold ads on videos.
Yeah, but the reason that you get ads and that we don't is because you more adequately serve capitalism and we challenge it.
That is true.
We get our ads pulled. What do you mean? There's whole organizations dedicated to getting.
You're not the only person who gets your ads pulled.
Right, but the proof is in the pudding and where I'm sitting.
Yeah, very real.
So this is memberships. This is almost entirely because people pay to become members of our websites.
Okay. So you have more money. Here's the thing, like conservatives are just way more online than the conservatives, just way more online and way more hungry for like to hear their same politics reverberated back to them than people on the left are. And the proof is just, if you're a conservative, you're more likely than not, you'll just have more viewers than somebody who's left wing. Sorry. Like, like end of story, right? The proof is like Fox News having, way more media presence than the next 3 news stations combined. If I remember correctly, like MSNBC, CNN, and maybe like ABC, like all stacked on top of each other in a trench coat, I'm pretty sure still wouldn't even be as big as Fox News. Maybe they'd be way closer now because Tuck's gone, but yeah. They have a lot of money. They serve capitalism as they do, and they get served back.
If the Majority Report, you guys have been around a lot longer.
If you guys had cooler content, you'd have money like me.
A product to a customer does not mean that one political faction has more or is granted more because of capitalism or anything like that. Like yes.
What do you mean provide like a what do you mean provide a product? They have a business, they have a membership program just like you. Okay.
Sam is unable to.
So you do have
Sam's
more
had
money.
way more subscribers than me for a long time.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And he just like hit. And I'm not saying this to be like mean. I'm saying if he doesn't know how to turn revenue, the issue is more so you need like a COO or somebody who's going to say, here's how we provide something to a market that generates revenue so we can expand our business. So we're better at that here, I suppose, is the easiest way to put it.
So
no,
you have more
because
money.
What you say here is
Okay, so you have more money. Like at the end of the, like he's like, oh, we don't have more money. We just, have more money. It's just that's literally just what he said. He was like, oh, we just have more money. So yeah, you guys do have more money. 100%. I don't know if like Tim's product is better than Sam's product. I don't think they have like a website where they pull their own, media from. I don't think you should have something like that as somebody who's supposed to be like a political commentator. If I'm going to be 100% real with you, it seemed like a conflict of interest, honestly, but whatever, I guess. I mean, he could like, he double, I mean, like it's a better business model, right? You double dip your own content. You get money for having people make articles on your website. And then after you do that, then you make videos of the articles that you put on your website and then put ads on both of them. And so you can double dip more money and then still ask for subscriptions. Like, sure. Yeah. You're like milking your audience more for cash, but like, yeah, you have more cash and your audience is the type to like give more money, likely because they typically just have more money.
Is more attractive to investors and advertisers. I mean, we're basically only members and okay, well, other right-wing media like the Daily Wire and stuff like that. And even what I'm looking at the Rumble, what I don't know, what do you call that? Logo right there.
Looks like a rectangle.
Yeah, I mean, that's a David Sachs. That's a venture capital backed venture, I believe. At the very least, Peter Thiel is involved. There's no equivalent on the left.
Why wouldn't you be able to get advertisers if like David Pakman and the Young Turks have advertisers? Your content's not like too dissimilar.
We do have advertisers. We just have, advertisers that are...
Nobody said that they weren't able to get advertisers. It's just like they have less advertisers and typically get less money than the right. And they also don't get and they don't get backed by billionaires that nowhere near. How much stuff is Coke funded, bro? Calm down.
A little bit more within our system.
Conservatives want to pretend to be so poor while raking in money like all day. It's crazy.
Of advertisers that I think align with leftist, or we have advertisers. Leftist advertisers, in terms of like leftist values as well. But just by the nature of left versus right, it's asymmetrical.
I think ExpressVPN actually sponsors the
but you're passing on advertisers that don't align with your values. So. Yeah. Like you have,
we do
those
the same
options.
thing. We do literally. We have like 4 advertisers.
Right.
Like 4.
Right. Okay.
So our website has no advertisers, and it's almost entirely membership funded.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
1 second. We have no advertisers. We have 4 advertisers. I can't tell because I have my I have my ad block on, and the moment is built into the browser. So I can't see. I don't know. They may not have ads. Wait a second. What about the articles? For corrections, please email corrections@timcast. Okay. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter. Members only. Members only news? There's members only news? Only the members can see this news? Okay.
And look,
everything here is because people give us $10 a month.
We're really trying to cover politics on our program, and I think that's what is like our central focus.
And also, like, if less advertisers align with their values, you could also say that means they're probably, they're probably challenging capitalism a little bit more than you, right? If even less advertisers than you, after you discriminate advertisers, are willing, are like even optional for them to have on their program, it would show
that a video about me and music.
Well, I mean, it was a little fun because it was kind of funny. But I mean, Sam comes from a comedy background as well. I would say that I think you misrepresent what our show actually does. The first hour, the free hour of our program before we go to the membership portion, is one that we literally have experts on Social Security, on international politics.
That is
not
true.
Honestly something that is conducive it's dry. It's not conducive necessarily to a ton of capital investment or advertisers. And we're trying to make a difference in the world.
We don't have investment or
Sure.
We have like 4 advertisers. Actually, we have 0 advertisers, and we got rid of them all. So we ended all of our advertisers.
Okay. Oh, okay. He's getting even more cooler. He used to have 4, but now they have none. Oh man.
To be fair, on the podcast version of things, I think
but we actually have some. But we had 4, okay, but it was actually 0 because we have none. But actually, we have 6. What is happening? What are these numbers?
YouTube side of things, we've to be fair, on the podcast version of things, I think we have like 6. On YouTube.
Okay, well, me when I Schrodinger's advertiser, I don't know how many advertisers I have until I'm talking to somebody, and if they think it's cool to have a few, I have none, and if they think it's base that I have a lot, then I have 6.
Side of things, we've actually gotten rid of all advertisements. So now it's just like whatever YouTube does, they do.
Right.
And then we're starting our own companies. The reason we started our own coffee company, it's because I'm not going to say the name of this person, but their organization.
Because they like fleecing their audience for more money, and you can double, triple, quadruple dip by continuing to sell your audience more and more and more and more and more stuff.
That lie in order to get our ads pulled. And so that's happened to us. One example is that there's, well, I don't get into too much of it, but there's a group that has argued that I have claimed that Donald Trump won in 2020, and they've used
elections being rigged against Trump. It's insanely obvious. Democrats party collapsing as more and more quit over BLM riots. Democrats are destroying our elections on purpose. Democrats make panic desperate move as polls favor Trump. Oh, it's so good.
Donald Trump of a massive Donald Trump.
Oh, no, what is this audio? What is happening? What is this insane audio, bro?
Trump 2020.
What is going on?
Man, Trump 2020 landslide. I think we're looking at a Trump victory, man. Trump 2020 landslide, even with everything going on with COVID. I think that's what we can expect. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Trump had a 49-state landslide. I think we could see a 49-state landslide. We may be looking at a Mondale-Reagan type scenario where Trump landslides 49 states. And we may see a 49-state landslide.
Did Tim lose weight? I think he lost weight. I think he lost some weight. He's a little less round. You can see it in his face. He used to be a much rounder boy. Look at that. He was packing his cheeks for winter here, but he's kind of slimmed down a little bit. Good on you, boy. Good on you, boy. His brain size reduced. I think that there's probably a 49 state landslide. Now, I don't know if Tim Pool specifically said that Donald Trump won the election, but he was doing the same sort of like cringe, hilarious. The Donald Trump is like, he's gonna slide into victory. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Used that to raise tens of thousands of dollars.
Okay.
I never said Donald Trump won in 2020. In fact, since Joe Biden got inaugurated, I said Trump
didn't
lost.
say the election
people
was
need
rigged.
to accept it.
Right. Well, you said there might be a race war. There was that.
When did I say that?
I'm not sure, but you also said that.
I don't think that's a true thing. Actually,
that's not a true thing. Tim Pool race war 2020 election. Well, let's see. No, that's culture war. Is it a day ending in Y? He spreads the election conspiracy theories. At least, oh yeah, I know he does that. He loves doing that. Here, let me see. Recently, Pool hired far-right extremist to run his website, and in private, he'll go beyond howling about civil war. On one of the few occasions, he put it more explicitly: a race war will come soon. Huh. When Tim Pool said so to Tariq Johnson, a black then employee of his defunct media company in 2019, he also told him to choose a side because his ex-boss couldn't ascertain which side you're going to be on, is how Johnson recalled Poole phrasing it. Two individuals familiar with the event backed up Johnson's account. Okay, well, when reached for comment, Poole fervently denied telling Johnson about a race war, then called any suggestion insane, citing his content and mixed race heritage. Poole further disputed many of the claims and descriptions of the event in his article and alleged that they were provided by individuals who were harboring a personal vendetta against him. His response can be read here. Oh, man. Oh, man. I do remember this clip, too.
I want you to understand something. They have been going to residential neighborhoods, and they did it yesterday in Kenosha, screaming, "Wake up." They've been doing it in various other cities. I want you to know what this GoFundMe means. He was a hero. That's right. When the mob comes to your house, like they did to the McCloskeys, and they threaten you, and they tell you they're going to take your home and burn it to the ground, and if you try to defend yourself, they're going to come out in the media, they're going to launch these finance campaigns and say you're the bad guy. The regular person living in their home saying, "Please leave me alone." And I've said it over and over again.
That's wild.
You
That's
think
crazy,
they will
Tim.
pass over your house? No, they won't. They're going door to door, figuratively. They will.
Figuratively, guys. Figuratively. Even though I was speaking literally here just a second ago. Wait, what? Imagine modeling yourself after the McCloskeys. Like the thing is, they didn't even really go to their house. They were walking past their house, and then they came out with guns and they started brandishing guns at those people. And then people were like, "Yo, fuck you." They didn't go to their house. They were walking past their house.
They will eventually come to your house. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not in a year, but maybe in a couple years. If this continues, the far left morality police will show up for review, and they'll tell you that you are bigoted or you're cultural appropriation or whatever, and you can't do anything about it.
No, people will come to your house and then they'll be like, "I disagree with you on your political takes," and then you can't do anything about it. You can't even do anything about it. No, no.
The 10-year-old who got an abortion, who was raped, you call that a hoax. Have you retracted that statement?
So there's very deep context to that. What we're talking about,
Very deep.
when
But
I
that's
say
been
hoax-
proven. I mean, charged.
Right, but
the rapist has been charged,
Right,
and
right.
the doctor who provided the abortion fined.
So this
in
is a really good
Indianapolis.
example of the problem in the culture, where I would say, see, you don't know what I actually said, because I didn't say what you're describing.
You did.
I didn't say what I actually. Well, I didn't say what you said. I said. Tim Pool, 10-year-old Ohio hoax. Even after arrest of suspect, YouTuber Tim Pool calls story of Ohio child assault hoax.
It's possible that the little girl would not have been able to get the services she needed because there's no way she could handle this pregnancy. It's sad that the life of the baby will be terminated, but probably would be considered to be not viable anyway. Now look, there's a middle ground here, and I think Daily Mail hits on it. There's no guarantee
Middle ground of forcing 10-year-olds to give birth to their rapist baby.
she would have gotten the services, but hold on there a minute. Why didn't the left report the rape? Why didn't they
did.
go in Ohio to abortion services, Planned Parenthood? Why didn't they say, we want a medical exception for this, and make it a pressing public policy issue that they would have won on?
What do you mean pressing public policy issue? Do you think that this one case is going to make Republicans change their minds? They already know that it's going to kill women. They don't care. They literally don't care.
I think the issue is the reason it played out the way it did, the reason it was not reported, is that the left would have lost. I will say this. This one's not a clear-cut hoax in the sense that someone made up a fake story. It's a hoax in the manufacture of the story to a certain degree.
Okay, so, well, as you can see, what I mean by hoax is that, yeah, the story's real, but what I mean by hoax is that the people who make their political enemies look bad could have maybe done it in a way that possibly made their political enemies look a little bit better. And that is what I mean by hoax.
I just watched it last night.
Right. And so what I said
Nobody
was,
does that. Nobody uses that word like that.
They politicized this to win a political point is the hoax, not that the child was abused.
How does that constitute a hoax, Tim?
So like, let's say there's what's a good example of this?
Yeah, my bro was thinking.
Ahmaud Arbery. Ahmaud Arbery is a really great example,
Okay.
right? So here's
No, I'm talking about this example though. The one that I just brought up.
So right, if I can't explain to you that manipulating a story for political gain is the hoax, then I don't know.
What's the manipulation?
Yeah, please, thank you.
Oh man, this is an old story. I have to pull it up. I think the issue was that they were able to actually get the treatment in state, but because of the law, they decided to seek it elsewhere. And I said, that is a hoax.
Wait, so they maybe could have waited after a court case to get an abortion, or they could have gone to another state to get it instantly. And the fact that they didn't force a 10-year-old to sit with a rapist baby for a couple more months, possibly, means that this is a hoax. Okay. Thank you, Tim. Very interesting.
I didn't say that it was a hoax that the girl was abused. I said, if they could have sought treatment in state under the exemption, I think it was Ohio, right? There was an exemption saying in the cases of abuse, the treatments are permitted, but they decided to make a public statement and leave the state anyway. I said, that is a hoax.
It was not a public statement.
Well, but that's my point.
No, rape and incest exemptions are non-actionable. This is like well documented with abortion activists. How long do you think it takes to prove a rape or incest case before you're able to use that carve out to actually get an abortion?
Doesn't it depend on how the law is written? Do you have to prove it, or does it have to be alleged?
I mean, first of all,
let me just answer
rape
that
is one
point
of the
real quick so we can clarify the thing on.
Sure.
I never said it was a hoax that the girl was abused.
Okay.
That is incorrect.
But honestly, this is a part and parcel of what you do.
I mean, like, you said the story. I mean, you said the story was a hoax, which I think is, honestly equally as bad. I think it's equally as bad. You're priming people to disregard the story, which I think is pretty garbo.
Is you put that kind of statement out there,
and the way he's using hoax doesn't even make any sense, bro.
Like, but saying that someone manipulating a story for political gain is a hoax.
It's not manipulation. That is the kind of thing that's going to continue to happen as abortion restrictions happen throughout the country. It was a particularly egregious example used to shine light on broader restrictions on abortion in this country. I mean, it's an opinion, but you haven't retracted it. It's false.
It's not false. If there is a story and the story is exaggerated or manipulated in an effort to sway people into believing one political faction over the other, you are engaging in a hoax.
I mean, isn't that what you guys...
No, you're not. That's just propaganda. What do you say? We already have a word. You can't just make up new meanings for words out of nowhere when they're just politically efficacious for you. That's not what a hoax means. You could say politicized. Go ahead. You could say propagandized. Go ahead. I think those would be right as well. Then those would be right. Hoax is not the right word. Hoax is not the right word. That's not how that works out.
Do when you post like extreme videos of crime and things like that.
We don't do that. What are you talking about?
I mean, you respond to videos that are taken completely out of context, isolated instances.
I don't think you watch the show because that doesn't sound
I mean, I do a little bit.
No, you don't. Because we don't do.
Tim Pool lies over and 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 over again.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.